Hey folks, welcome back to Bama Performance and Vintage Chainsaws. Back with the host Nate Forster, and tonight we're getting back on our Poulan for our customer. It's Poulan 4000. As y'all seen last time we pulled it down, did a pressure test on it. It had blown out the base gasket, and that's kind of where we stopped. I said we're going to talk to the owner, see exactly what he wants to do with it, and go from there. So, talk with the owner. We are going base gasket delete it. I'm still in the process of trying to find a new piston for it because it does have two marks. One right here, just a little bit of transfer, and same on the other side. But I'm really not able to find one. I will clean up this piston. I mean, it's not bad. It's got some wear on it, but it's not too terrible. It'll definitely run for a lot longer time. But until then, we're going to see what the squish is without the base gasket, just to get a number. Because if you see, this has no cylinder skirt to it. It's flat. If squish is still really high, say above 30, without the base gasket, which I imagine it will be since it wasn't even touching 60,000 solder, then we will we'll remedy this. I got a plan for that. Don't have a lathe, don't have a mill, but you can do cylinders like that. So to start off with, we're just going to try and get a squish without the base gasket and see how it goes. I think this actually, yeah. So let's start with that. Let's see, we'll put that one down there. Sorry, it's hard to show this, hard to see in general, to be honest. So you gotta put these in kind of at an angle. Let me see, let me move some stuff around. Did somewhat clean up the bench, but then again, I brought some other stuff in here. We'll be using that later. New JB weld, put that away in a minute. Get my pliers. See if we can fish this guy down in there. May not be able to. It's a little difficult to get in there. There we go. It's down in it. All right. Better go ahead and start that. I need to figure out which one of these it is. I believe it is 4.5, if I remember right. It's close. 4.5 is close. All right. Let's see if we can get this guy just started. We're not gonna lock her down tight. Just trying to get her started. We're just spinning. See where she needs to be. There we go. That bit in right there. Alright, let's go around to the other side. I see this side pretty easy from over here. Get this side in, and then we will check our squish. Get that out of our way. There. There we go. That's went in like a dream. There you go. Finish getting this side down. All right. Blue rear fully seated. Definitely ain't touching the top, which I didn't think it would. But you know, gotta check. Put those back. Clip off a piece of our solder here. Let's see if it'll touch 60,000 solder now. I imagine it probably will, but we will see. Just make sure we're all the way up against the wall. Touched it there. Still not a heavy touch, but did touch it. Let's see where she did indent just a little bit. So let's see where we're at now. Turn it back to inches. Ooh, 46, 48. Yeah, about 45, 44 right there. So we got a fair amount we can take off. At least 20 thou. So let's check in a few more spots just to be certain. And we'll pull it off and get to work. Let's see. I have to angle it a little bit more. Maybe right there. Say that's probably about the same. That's what it looks like. About 47, 48. Like if anything, that might have been a little looser on that side. Try the other side. That side was a little tighter. Actually, a lot tighter. I already tell it's a lot tighter on that side. Make sure it was zeroed. About 41 thou on this side. So I got a little bit of a rock on that side. Rocked up a little bit, it's closer to 50. This side's closer to 41. We're at about 45 on the exhaust. Let's check our intake side. Alright, that should be enough to give us a test. That ain't too shabby back there. About 45. Yeah, between 40 and 45 back there. See, very down there on the edge of it. I'd say we at least take off 10 thou off of it. Right toward the edge, it gets fairly narrow. Yeah, about 36, 37 thou on the very tip of it. You see that? Very tip of it. It's right there at like 36. So I'd say we can take off at least 10 to 15 thou. Be safe. So let's go ahead and pull this guy back off. We'll get this guy back out of our way. We ain't turning this into a high RPM screamer. It's just gonna be a grunty saw. That's all he wants is a nice runner. So what we do should have great torque. And I said just be a good running saw. Good for the long bar. He just all he does is firewooding. So he ain't looking for some high RPM screamer. Set that out of our way. Alright, so you're wondering, what are we going to use to take down that base? I got it right here. It's about $5 at your typical Home Depot. It's a piece of glass. This one's 3/32 thick. And some sandpaper. That's just, I think, 120 grit. Now I got 150. But one thing you do have to see is we'll have to take off, we'll have to bevel right here where it's plated, just right there and right there. Open up that bevel some more so we don't lift the plating while we're and then what I'm gonna do is to make sure she's square. I've got a straight edge here. Is I'm gonna clean up our corners, clean up our sides. I'm gonna write down the measurements on each side. Get her nice and clean. Turn her inside out. Alright, then that should be good. Go ahead and clean up her base of it too. Throw that in my trash. Grab another piece. Our sides are nice and cleaned up. I believe they are. Let's go after our base, make sure she's clean. She's pretty darn clean to start with. I guess it didn't leave a whole lot. Alright. So, what I'm going to propose, take that and leave it right there. Alright, we're going to do 4 sides. We'll have side 1, 2, 3, 4. Then corner 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do it, take a measurement on each side. For side 1, we will do it on our back, so we'll put a 1 here. We'll do same with one corner. Start right there. 2 and 2. We'll do 2A. We'll say 2A, 1A, 3A, 4A. That's how we keep it straight. Keep it straight. Then we'll do 3A, 4A. Go over here and do an A over there. Okay. So we got that measured. Or not measured, but marked. So, where's this guy? Go ahead, do a little more cleaning. And then we'll take our measurements. Just cleaning up these ears. Well, we can get a good clean measurement over it. We're gonna have to start with, then where we end up at. Okay. Clean off this last ear. I will be doing a muffler mod for the guy. Not exactly sure how I'm gonna do it first, but I'm gonna do it. Alright. So, let's go to side 1. I'm gonna set it down here. caliper. You really need a machinist square on the caliper, but this will work. Close enough for what we're doing. Make sure we're zeroed. Bring it out as far as she will go. Right down there. Then let's send her back. We'll do it exactly like that. We're looking at roughly 3.029 inches. We're taking 16th thou off. So 3.029. I'm just making some notes for myself. All right, let's go to side 2. Go right there. You are looking at roughly 3.4, roughly 3.4. Sorry, no. Let's get this right. 3.15. 3.015. Sorry. Let's go side 3. Bring it back up. That's showing 3.07. That's pretty tight, but it definitely was not tighter than the back. So let's give that a try again. Come on. Right there. Well, saying 3.02. Okay, let's try side 4. We'll base it off of right there. Oh, come on. Zero it back out. Sorry, it's been a little wonky. Oh, it reverted back to millimeter. That's why. .04. All right, so our sides, we start off with 3.029 on our side number 1. Side number 2, which is one of our transfer sides, start 3.015. The other side, which would be exhaust, 3.02. And this other transfer, 3.04. Now we're going to go to our corners. Make sure we're zeroed out. Go to corner number 1A. Measure up our corners. We're going to go right there. 0.344. Go to number 2. .366. Number 3. .388. And number 4. .338. So corner number one was this one to the right of the center, rear right, toward the intake. 2's right here, 3's right here, 4's right here. So it looks like our cylinder is leaning back, or there's less material on the ear of the cylinder toward the back 2 corners, and it's a little thicker up on the front. So now it gets into the fun. And the fun being sanding her down. So what we're going to do is we're going to go corner to corner. We're going to sand diagonally. This way, and then we'll turn, do the opposite 2, that way, and that way. So start right here. Alright, there's 4. So we had it like so. So we will turn it. Let's see. Let me get my bearings right. So we're going that corner, so we need to go this corner to this corner. Alright, and I see she's taking off some material. So let's see where she landed at. Zero her out. Let's go to side 1. Oh wow, actually took off a fair amount right there. Let's see. Took off more than I was expecting. .09. So took off 200s. So let's go to side 2. Just right there. Oh, wow, that's showing 3.09 as well. Yep, 3.09 there. Try it right. Let's try it on this side, see where she lands at. 3.095. .019 right there. Let's try it back here on this side. .06 on our side number 3. 3.006 side 3. Let's go side 4. I believe we took it right there. 3.017. We started off at 3.04. So we took off a fair amount right there. Let's try our corners. Still showing 3.44 right there. Go 2. 3.70, so let's hold on. 3.66 still there. It didn't take off much. It's just gonna be trial and error. 3.88 still. Just go slow. Make sure you ain't taking off a whole lot. 3.38. All right, so we really ain't taking off all that much. So I'm gonna keep doing this until we get down to roughly about 15 thou off of it. Then I will bring y'all back and we'll check the squish then. So see y'all in a bit. All right, folks, we're taking a couple good swipes off it, about about 12 swipes off each side, going this way, then this way, and then this way, and this way. Just checked it with my straight edge, and it's still straight, still flat as board. So let's give her a try now. See where she's at. I think we've taken off just a little bit, but let's give her a try and see where we landed. So we need to get this guy in there. Oop, gotta get a plug out of there. It likes to go down in there. Let's get this guy where we need it to go, right there. Go ahead and try to get it started. It's started. Really should just pull this handle all the way off, but I really don't feel like it. Grab this guy, get it down in there. Well, almost. There it goes. Oh, pop back out with me. There we go. Tighten her up. Just tightening this side down. We'll see where we landed. And if we go too far, we can always use a base gasket. That's no issue. Snip this whole piece of line off. All right. Make sure she still rolls over as good as it ever did. Throw her up in there. Felt like it took a little bit more. Definitely looks like it took a little bit more. But let's see. And we're still sitting about 0.04 down there on the end. 0.36 right there. Should have took measurements to start with. 0.44. We'll probably have to go some more. But let's go ahead and check everywhere just to make sure. Go. See where this guy landed. Make sure we're zeroed out. Yeah, they may have gone 2/10 of a thousand. Maybe 2/10. So I have a feeling this is going to be a long, drawn out process. We will see. Like I said, just want to check and show y'all as I go. And then probably after this time, I'll go for a while, probably 20 or 30 swipes. See where we land from there. There we go. Yep. Still pretty loose. Still pretty loose. So I don't even think we gotta check the other side. I'll pull it back off and keep a sanding on it and see how we end up. So I'll bring y'all back in a while. All right, folks, we've been at it probably an hour or better now. So we're gonna go ahead and give it another try. See where we landed at. We should be pretty darn close. Let's go ahead and get that guy started. That one started. Around to this side. I am cleaning out the cylinder every time we go in it. There we go. And I'll probably put some washers up underneath these screws to make sure we're not bottoming out. We shouldn't be. All right, let's see. Ooh. She locked up tight then. Or did we hit roof? Or did we have something else happen? We're hitting somewhere. I believe. Let's see. Yep, she dang sure hitting somewhere. So, means we'll probably end up using a base gasket. As I pull it off, there you go. We got it down to essentially zero squish somewhere. Because if we come up, and that's it. Hard stop. All right, we'll go grab a gasket and let's see where we're at. I believe these gaskets come in right around 20 thou. So I think we'll be all right. They're like 19. Pull it off. Look good down in there. Yeah, it's not that. Well, say that. Or are we hitting? I believe we are hitting our cylinder. So let me go grab a base gasket and I'm ready right back. All right, I popped the base gasket down in there. See what she comes up with. Got our solder. Make sure we get us a nice clean piece. Now, give her a gander. There we go. Now that's what I'm talking about. That is good squish. See where she landed at. 0 to 35, 34, 32. Down on the bottom end, right around 20 to 26. Yeah, around 25, 26. Booyah! Try it in a couple different spots. Make sure we got enough solder. Something like that should be enough. Get in there, touch that side. Alright. I don't think it's quite as tight right there, but she may be. Around 32 on the very edge. 34 up there. And maybe 28 on the edge. Still pretty good. Check her back and we'll check her other side just to see how close we are. Much better squish. Much better. That one's gonna be pretty tight back here, and I already tell. Yeah, 35 or so. About 27 on the small end. Pretty darn good, fellas. To go from over 60 with a base gasket to around 30. Take about 30 thou off. Now that took a while. It took about an hour worth of just constant sanding. Let's get it down on the bottom stroke again. Trying to get this thing where I want it. Right there. Oh man, that took some gumption. That's probably gonna be our tightest side right there. And bet money on it. 32 on the big end, and down here on the small, 23. So right there, I mean, it's not perfect. It's good enough. No, on most of it, we have at least 23, not 25, 26. Now, the only other thing we do need to look out for is take our exhaust up to top dead center. Make sure. Oh no, we ain't. Exhaust port doesn't even go below it, so we're good there. I'll be curious to see. Oh yeah, she don't go above it. We don't have to worry about free porting. She's close, but I do not believe we have any worries about free porting. So now we know We should have plenty of squish even with a new piston. This one's got a little bit of carbon on it, so it'll come out probably around 25 once I clean it off. We had to go from over 60 thousandths to 30 thousandths. Took probably about an hour, maybe an hour and a quarter. Just sand for a while, then measure your cylinder. I got my measurements over there on my pad. Sand, measure, clean your cylinder in between. Then every so often, throw it down here, see where you're at. The last time I think I was right around 40 or so. Took another 20 or so minutes of just sanding each and every way. And so yeah, we got it down to about the smallest end, probably right at 20. That's with carbon. 23, I guess. So probably around 25, I'd say, without carbon. Which is a huge improvement to over 60 thou. That probably netted us, see, every 10 to 15 to about a degree to 2 degrees. So maybe 4 degrees intake timing, nothing crazy. Probably lost 4 degrees on the exhaust timing. We can go ahead and time it, that's no issue. It's a little tough to see that intake, but we can. All I'd have to do is take the clutch off, which we may. We'll just see where we landed. Let's see. I may do that in the next video. May end it off right here for tonight. See if I can hop on the computer, see if I can find any pistons for this thing. I've looked the other night, couldn't find nothing, but you just gotta be vigilant. Big 3-shoe clutch, really big clutch actually. But I think that'll net us pretty darn good compression. Honestly, I'm kind of curious to see what it is. Let's see with nothing in it what we can come up with. I bet she's, granted, the rings will have to reseat, but I think she'll have to come out pretty darn good. Let's give her a walloping. Now we're already up to about 160 or so. Well, we started at 140, so that's 20 pounds right off the get-go. Right off the get-go. Yeah, we're over 160, touching on 170. Yeah, about 170 where she's topping off now. So what? With old rings, new old rings, about 30 thousandths off the cylinder, off the base. We picked up 30 pounds dry, 30 pounds cold. So back up to about stock 170. That's pretty good. And it should pull a good bit harder now, at least with the long bar. Should pull pretty hard. I think on the next video, like I said, I'm going to try to find a piston for it. These things are really difficult to find a piston for, I'm finding. I'll go through some back channels, see if I can find something. Good. Cylinder's in great shape. Yeah, we touching on right at, I don't know if y'all can see that. It's a little glary. Right at it, there's 160 over there, almost 170. That's with all rings. I do have a new set of rings for it. Just looking for a piston. I think the rings I got, they're new old stock. We'll measure the ring gap on it, see if they're any better than these. I imagine they are. But if not, we will find some other rings to use, even if they have to be filed down to get a little bit tighter ring gap. That'll also help compression, better seal. But yeah, I mean, 30 pounds with just literally sanding the base, that's not bad. Along with more intake timing, a little bit less exhaust, so you're probably losing 100, 200, maybe 300 RPM, but it'll hold it in the cut with the torque you'll have. I mean, these things are already torquey out of the box. This thing's going to probably be very, very torquey. It's going to be hard to slow it down, I imagine. But yeah, so there's how to hand sand a cylinder base with using this piece of glass. I ended off finishing it, started at 120, finished it off at 150 grit. I said just go one way, then flip it to the next corner, go the other way, and then I go back to the, so say there's corner here, corner here, corner here, corner here. I start here, going this way. Now I'll turn it to where this corner is going that way, and then we'll go turn it 2 corners back to go that way, and then we'll turn it 1 more corner and go back and go that way, and then start over. That way it keeps it pretty square. I did like 5 swipes per side. I started at 4, then I got up to 5. It seemed like it still kept pretty good, how would you say, pretty good square on the cylinder. Wasn't taking too much off one side. Then yeah, I mean, y'all saw we went down to what, on the very edge of the cylinder, right at 23 to 28. So what's that, 5 thou difference? Or no, that's not even 5 thou, that's tenths, hundredths, thou. Ooh, I'm trying to think of my, so you got tenths, hundredths, thousandths. I'm trying to remember what the next measurement is, but it's that measurement. It's not thousandths. So 23 thousandths to 25 thousandths is right on our edge, but anywhere from 30 to like 35, 37 toward the center. And like I said, that is with carbon, so it's probably ended up at 40 and 25. So safe. I said, since this base is not completely flat, or the squish band is not completely flat. It's either got a slight taper to it or just got a little bit more carbon there on the ends. We'll try to get as much of the carbon out as we can before we final assemble. But yeah, that's pretty well what we're going to do with this one. Once we get it, if I can find a piston grade, if I can, I'll clean this one up. Then we'll slap her back together, do another seal test on it, and after that we will the seal test, we'll give her a fire, and then we'll go put her in some wood, unless it needs crank seals or whatever else, but I doubt it will. So I'm gonna pull this off real quick. That's it, because we gotta find a piston. I'll clean the piston up for it, so we're not done there, but at least we got it squished pretty tight. I thought about going no base gasket on it, but being this isn't my saw, I don't like throwing them out to the world without a base gasket, so I decided to go a little bit more and just use a base gasket. I think we'll be fine. I think it'll be fine. That way, if anybody ever has to do something with it again, all they gotta do is throw a base gasket in it, and they won't be wondering what's going on with without the base gasket. Oh yeah, we got pretty good sealant right there. Yeah, I can see the very edge actually has a little lip that's not carbon. There is just a tiny lip all the way around it. So that's where we got that tiny little bit of extra or less squish. But nope, that seemed to work well. So it just took a little bit of time. Piston looks as good as it did. That little bit of turning, didn't do nothing to it. So I think we're safe there. I'm gonna go inside, see if I can find a piston for it. If not, so be it. We'll just clean these two sides up, that little spot and the other spot on the intake side. Or, like I said, cylinder looks good. Don't look like we're lost any plating anywhere yet, so I think we're fine there. If anything, I may chamfer that intake just a little bit. It's a little rough. That may be where some of that little score on the intake came from, or some fines got through. I mean, it's light. You could take some real light Scotch-Brite, probably the green stuff, and get that off. That's not much at all. But we'll go ahead and see if we can get a new piston for it. I'll clean up that little bit on the intake side. Probably chamfer that port a lot better. And then we will, that's it. Try to find a piston. If not, so be it. We'll clean it up, but if we do, we'll put a new piston on. I got new rings for it. Or if y'all know of anybody that's got a piston for one of these that's in good shape, or better shape, please let me know. My email is nicktheforster22@gmail.com. The guy's willing to spend a little bit of money on it, not a whole lot. Not putting a whole lot of money into this, just that's it, trying to get it going. Want to give them a good, reliable saw. And it'll be, like I said, a little more torquey. It'll take a little more push, a little more pull, or at least it should with the extra compression. And yeah, so I appreciate y'all watching. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you like what you saw, please hit that like button. Want to see more, hit the subscribe button, and we will catch y'all on the next time. Thanks, y'all.